The signal. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of Deep Space Research Station Magellan, watching the quantum field sensors paint abstract patterns across the holographic display. Most days, these sensors detected nothing but background noise, the endless whispers of an expanding universe. Today was different. Dr. Chen, the station's AI announced, its voice carefully modulated to hide any hint of excitement. We're detecting temporal anomalies in Sector 7. The pattern matches none of our known signatures. Sarah leaned forward, her dark eyes reflecting the shimmer of quantum distortions. After 15 years of searching the void between stars, she had almost given up hope of finding something truly new. The universe had seemed determined to keep its deepest secrets hidden behind veils of dark matter and quantum uncertainty. The anomalies pulsed with a rhythm that defied natural explanation. The patterns moved with deliberate precision, like ripples in a cosmic pond. Sarah had seen enough natural phenomena to know the difference between chaos and order. These pulses carried intent. They were a message. Run a full spectrum analysis, she ordered, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. Compare these patterns against every known form of communication we've cataloged. The AI worked in silence for several minutes, processing data at speeds that would have taken human scientists years to match. Finally, it spoke. Analysis complete. The signals appear to be encoded in quantum states that shouldn't be stable. By all known laws of physics, these patterns should decay instantly. Instead, they're maintaining coherence across light years of space. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. In 15 years of deep space research, she had developed an instinct for breakthrough moments. This was one of them. Contact Mission Control. Priority Alpha. Tell them we found something impossible. Within hours, the Magellan's observation deck had transformed into a hub of frenetic activity. Quantum physicists from Earth joined via holographic projection, their avatars crowding the space as they debated theories and ran calculations. Sarah stood at the center of it all, defending her findings against the scrutiny of humanity's brightest minds. The patterns aren't random, she explained, manipulating the holographic display to highlight specific sequences. They repeat with variations that suggest language. More importantly, they're affecting quantum states in ways we thought were impossible. Dr. James Maxwell, Earth's leading expert in quantum communications, stepped forward. His holographic form flickered slightly as he studied the data. If these signals are artificial, they're centuries beyond our current technology. The energy required to maintain quantum coherence at this scale would be astronomical. Unless, Sarah countered, we're thinking about it wrong. What if the energy requirement isn't the point? What if whoever sent these messages found a way to bypass the normal rules of quantum mechanics entirely? Before anyone could respond, the AI interrupted. New development. The signal pattern is changing. The holographic display erupted with new data. The quantum pulses were intensifying, converging on a single point in space, just a few thousand kilometers from the station. Sarah watched in amazement as reality itself seemed to fold inward, creating a sphere of distorted spacetime. Everyone seeing this. She breathed, knowing the feeds were being transmitted back to Earth in real time. Whatever sent those signals, I think they're about to make an appearance. The sphere of distorted space rippled like the surface of a soap bubble, then burst inward. In its place hung a beam of pure energy, its form constantly shifting between states of matter and energy. It was beautiful and terrifying, a glimpse of evolution so advanced it barely seemed real. The eye sensors went wild, trying to categorize something that defied categorization. Sarah stepped forward, her heart pounding but her voice steady. This is Dr. Sarah Chen of the Human Deep Space Research Station Magellan. We received your signals. The beam's response came not in words but in direct neural impulses that somehow bypassed the normal channels of communication. Images and concepts flooded Sarah's mind. Civilizations rising and falling across billions of years, the evolution of matter into energy and energy into something beyond both, and a darkness spreading between the stars that devoured everything in its path. They call themselves the Ascended, Sarah announced to her colleagues, translating the neural download as best she could. They were one of the first species to achieve sentience in our galaxy, and they've spent billions of years evolving beyond physical form. They'd been watching us, studying us, and now they need our help. Dr. Maxwell's hologram stepped closer to the energy being. Our help? What could we possibly offer a species this advanced? More neural impulses flooded Sarah's mind. She saw vast swarms of cosmic horror moving between dimensions, consuming reality itself. She saw advanced civilizations falling before them, their technology useless against something that violated the fundamental laws of physics. And she saw humanity, young, aggressive, adaptable humanity, approaching problems in ways the older species had never considered. They need us, Sarah explained, her voice filled with wonder, because we're too young to know what's impossible. The threat they're facing, it operates outside normal physics, outside the rules they've spent billions of years mastering. They've become too specialized, too set in their ways. They need our creativity, our ability to think outside their very, very old box. The Ascended being pulsed with confirmation, sending one final neural message that made Sarah both proud and terrified. Humanity's tendency to break rules, to ignore limitations, to do things that shouldn't work but somehow did. These traits made them unique among all the species the Ascended had encountered. There's something coming, Sarah announced to the silent observers. Something that's already destroyed thousands of civilizations. The Ascended are asking us to help fight it, not because we're the strongest or the most advanced, but because we're the ones crazy enough to try the impossible. Dr. Maxwell's hologram showed the first signs of understanding. They want us to be humanity. Yes, Sarah smiled, watching the Ascended being pulse with approval. They want us to be exactly who we are. The species that looked at the laws of physics and said, maybe instead of absolutely. The ones who built quantum computers when our understanding of quantum mechanics was still in its infancy. The ones who keep breaking rules we don't even know exist yet. The Ascended being began transmitting detailed information about the threat. The entropy swarm, as Sarah's mind translated it, a cosmic horror that existed in multiple dimensions, consuming reality itself, leaving nothing but void in its wake. Conventional weapons and even advanced energy technologies had proven useless against it. As the information poured in, Sarah felt a familiar excitement building in her chest. The same feeling she had when tackling an impossible problem, when pushing the boundaries of known physics. Humanity was about to do what it did best, face the impossible with innovation, determination, and just enough reckless creativity to make it work. Tell Earth to prepare, she instructed the AI. We're about to go hunting in the void between dimensions, and somehow, I think we're going to enjoy it. The Ascended being pulsed with what Sarah could only interpret as approval. Humanity's greatest trial was about to begin, and their greatest strength would be their inability to accept the word impossible. The warning. General Maya Rodriguez stood in the United Earth Defense Command Center, watching holographic projections of the entropy swarm's predicted path through the galaxy. The massive underground facility hummed with activity as humanity prepared for a threat unlike anything they had faced before. "Show me the latest quantum echo readings," she commanded. The holographic display shifted, revealing ghostly traces of destroyed civilizations, quantum echoes of worlds that no longer existed. Each one represented billions of lives lost to the cosmic horror that was now approaching human space. Dr. Chen's discovery had changed everything. In the 3 months since first contact with the Ascended, humanity had thrown itself into preparation with characteristic determination. The quantum echo technology, reverse-engineered from the Ascended's communications, had revealed both the scope of the threat and potential weaknesses in the enemy's seemingly impenetrable defenses. "The latest simulation results are in," announced Colonel James Wright, head of the newly formed Void Hunter program. "Our prototype quantum weapons are showing promise. We can actually hurt these things." Maya studied the data scrolling across her neural interface. The simulation showed something remarkable. Human weapons, modified with quantum echo technology, could disrupt the entropy swarm's multi-dimensional structure. It wasn't supposed to be possible, but humanity had never been good at accepting limitations. "How soon can we begin full-scale production?" she asked, already calculating deployment strategies in her head. "That's the interesting part," James replied, bringing up new holographic schematics. "We don't need to modify our existing weapons much. The quantum echo tech acts as an amplifier, using the swarm's own dimensional instability against them. Dr. Chen's team thinks we can have the entire Earth fleet retrofitted within 2 weeks." Maya allowed herself a small smile. The Ascended had chosen well when they came to humanity for help. Where other species saw immutable laws of physics, humans saw guidelines to be bent. Where ancient civilizations had failed with pure power, humanity would succeed with adaptability and innovation. The facility's AI interrupted her thoughts. "General, we're detecting quantum disturbances in the Kuiper belt. Pattern matches known entropy swarm signatures." "They're early," Maya muttered, then raised her voice. "Sound the alert. All Void Hunter teams to their ships." This is not a drill. Throughout the massive complex, klaxons blared as humanity prepared for its first real encounter with the cosmic horror. The Void Hunters, elite teams trained to fight in quantum space, rushed to their vessels, each one equipped with weapons that shouldn't work but somehow did. In her lab several levels below, Sarah Chen watched the quantum readings with growing concern. The swarm's attack pattern was different from what the Ascended had shown them. It was adapting, learning, becoming even more dangerous. "General Rodriguez," she called through the neural link. "I'm seeing something new in the quantum signatures. The swarm, it's not just consuming reality, it's processing it, converting it into something else." "Explain." Maya's voice came back, tense but focused. "The Ascended told us it was a force of pure entropy, but that's not quite right. It's more like a cosmic recycling system gone rogue. It breaks down reality itself and reconstructs it into something else, something wrong." The implications hit Maya like a physical blow. This wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about preserving the fundamental nature of reality itself. She opened a channel to all Void Hunter teams. "Listen up, people. We just learned that these things aren't just destroying reality. They're rewriting it. Every world they consume becomes part of their twisted version of existence. We're not just fighting for survival anymore. We're fighting for the right of reality itself to exist as it should." The response came back immediately, a chorus of determined voices. "For Earth and existence." Maya turned to James. "Launch all ships. Begin quantum echo broadcasts on all frequencies. Let's show these cosmic horrors what happens when they threaten a species that doesn't know when to quit." The first wave of Void Hunter ships launched into space, their hulls gleaming with the iridescent sheen of quantum echo technology. They were humanity's answer to an impossible threat. Vessels that could slip between dimensions, weapons that could wound beings that shouldn't be vulnerable, and crews that refused to accept defeat as an option. As the fleet moved into position, Sarah made a startling discovery in her quantum readings. "General, the swarm, it's showing signs of hesitation. The quantum patterns suggest it's never encountered anything like our echo technology before." "Good," Maya replied, her voice hard with determination. "Let's give it something else new to think about. All ships, execute attack pattern Delta. Show these things why the Ascended chose humanity as their champions." The battle that followed would be remembered as humanity's first real test against the cosmic horror. The Void Hunter ships moved with impossible grace, their quantum echo weapons tearing holes in reality itself to strike at the swarm. Where ancient civilizations had failed with brute force, humanity succeeded with innovation and adaptability. But victory came at a cost. As the last remnants of the swarm retreated from the Kuiper belt, leaving behind twisted fragments of broken space-time, Maya received the casualty reports. 3 ships lost, their crews scattered across multiple dimensions. a brutal reminder that even with their quantum echo technology, they were still fighting an enemy that could unmake reality itself. In her lab, Sarah studied the battle data with growing excitement and dread. "General, I've analyzed the quantum echoes from the battle. The good news is our weapons worked better than expected. The bad news, this was just a scout force. The main body of the swarm is still coming, and now it knows we can hurt it." Maya stood at her command station, watching the quantum echo readings of the retreating swarm. They had won their first battle, but the war for reality itself was just beginning. Humanity had proven they could fight the impossible, but now they needed to prove they could win against it. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered. "Contact the Ascended. Tell them we've proven the concept. Now we need every scrap of knowledge they can give us about quantum mechanics. It's time to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate a species that treats physical laws as mere suggestions." The hunt begins. The void between stars rippled with quantum distortions as the Void Hunter vessel Artemis stalked its prey. Captain Elena Santos watched the dimensional sensors paint pictures of reality's underlying structure, searching for the telltale signs of swarm activity. 6 months of hunting had taught her crew what to look for: the subtle warping of space-time that preceded a swarm attack. "Contact bearing 37 Mark II, her sensor officer reported. "Quantum signature matches known swarm patterns. They're trying to initiate a reality conversion event." Elena smiled grimly. Once, humanity had been the prey. Now, they were the hunters. "Launch quantum probes. Let's see what we're dealing with." The probes pierced through normal space, their sensors reaching into dimensions that shouldn't exist. The data they sent back painted a picture of horror: a small swarm force preparing to consume an inhabited world. The local species, silicon-based crystalline beings, had no defense against such an attack. "How long until they begin the conversion?" Elena asked, already plotting intercept courses in her mind. 20 minutes, maybe less," the science officer responded. "The crystalline civilization doesn't even know they're there. Their sensors can't detect quantum-level threats." Elena opened a channel to the rest of her hunting pack. 5 other ships spread across this sector of space. "This is Santos. We've got confirmed swarm activity. They're targeting the crystalline civilization in the Helios cluster. Time to show them why you don't hunt in humanity's territory." The response was immediate. 5 acknowledgements flashed across her neural interface as the other ships moved to attack positions. In the months since their first defensive victory, humanity had refined their tactics. They no longer waited for the swarm to attack. They'd brought the fight to the enemy. "All ships, execute attack pattern Sigma," Elena commanded. "Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves anymore. Every civilization we save is a potential ally against the swarm." The Void Hunter ships slipped between dimensions, emerging in a perfect attack formation around the unsuspecting swarm forces. The enemy reacted instantly, their forms shifting between states of matter and energy as they prepared for combat. But humanity had learned. Each ship carried quantum echo weapons specifically tuned to disrupt the swarm's dimensional shifting abilities. Where once the cosmic horrors had seemed invincible, now they faced an enemy that understood their weaknesses. "Fire primary weapons," Elena ordered. "Don't let them start the conversion process." The battle erupted across multiple dimensions at once. Quantum echo beams tore through reality itself, forcing the swarm entities into states where they could be hurt. The cosmic horrors fought back with reality warping attacks, but the human ships danced through dimensional space with practiced ease. In her lab back on Earth, Sarah Chen monitored the battle through quantum sensors. The data streaming in showed something remarkable. The swarm was changing its tactics, attempting to adapt to human fighting methods. But there was something else, something in the quantum signatures that didn't make sense. "General Rodriguez," she called through her neural link. "I'm seeing something strange in the swarm's quantum patterns. They're not just adapting, they're learning from us. Each encounter teaches them more about how we think, how we fight." Maya's response was immediate. "Can they replicate our quantum echo technology?" "No, That's the interesting part, Sarah replied, studying the complex data patterns. They can't replicate it because they don't understand how it works. Our technology operates on principles that are too simple for them to grasp. They've evolved so far beyond conventional physics that they can't comprehend our primitive approach. Back in the battle, Alina's ships pressed their advantage. The swarm forces, caught between dimensions by the quantum echo weapons, began to break apart. Their attempts to initiate the reality conversion process were disrupted again and again by precisely targeted attacks. "Captain," her tactical officer called out, "we're detecting quantum fluctuations from the planet's surface. The crystalline beings, they're watching us fight." Alina smiled. This was part of humanity's larger strategy. Every battle they fought showed other species that the swarm could be beaten, that the impossible could be overcome. Already, dozens of civilizations had reached out to Earth, seeking to learn their methods. "Send them the standard first contact package," she ordered. "Let them know they're not alone in this fight anymore." The battle ended with a decisive victory. The swarm forces, unable to maintain coherence under the sustained quantum echo attack, dissolved into harmless energy patterns. Alina ordered her ships to maintain position while they established contact with the crystalline civilization below. "Captain," her communications officer reported, "we're receiving a transmission from the surface. They're thanking us. They say they've been watching the swarm consume other worlds for centuries, helpless to stop it. They want to know how we fight them." Alina opened a channel to the surface. "Tell them that humanity stands ready to share our knowledge." The swarm thought they could hunt with impunity in this galaxy. They thought that physics itself protected them from retribution. They were wrong. As her words were translated and transmitted to the crystalline beings below, Alina received a priority message from Earth. General Rodriguez's face appeared in her neural interface, looking both pleased and concerned. "Good work, Captain," Maya said. "But we've got bigger problems. The Ascended just sent us new intelligence. The swarm isn't just adapting to our attacks, it's gathering. Every force we've driven off, every entity we've defeated, they're all converging. They're planning something big." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. "How big?" "According to the Ascended, they're massing the largest force ever recorded. Thousands of swarm entities, all moving toward a single point in space. They're not running anymore, Captain. They're coming to fight." "Then we'll be ready," Elena replied, her voice hard with determination. Humanity didn't come this far to back down now. If they want to test themselves against everything we've got, we'll show them why that's a bad idea. Maya nodded grimly. "Return to Earth for refit and tactical update. And Captain, well done out there. You've given a lot of species hope today." As the Void Hunter fleet set course for Earth, Elena watched the quantum readings from the crystalline world fade into the distance. Humanity had changed the game. They had shown the galaxy that the impossible was merely difficult, that the unbeatable could be defeated. Now they just had to prove it on the largest scale imaginable. The Alliance. The Grand Chamber of Earth's United Defense Command had never hosted such a diverse gathering. Representatives from 17 different species filled the massive space, their forms ranging from crystalline beings to energy constructs to massive gas-breathing entities in containment suits. They had all come for one reason: to learn how humanity fought the impossible. General Rodriguez stood at the central podium, with Dr. Chen and Captain Santos flanking her. The holographic displays above showed the movement of swarm forces across the galaxy, a massive gathering that threatened everything that existed. "The swarm believes it has our measure," Maya began, her voice translated simultaneously into 17 different languages. "They think they understand how we fight, how we think. But they've forgotten something crucial about humanity. We never stop evolving our tactics." The crystalline ambassador from the Helios cluster stepped forward, their faceted body refracting light in complex patterns. "Your quantum echo technology has proven effective against smaller swarm forces, but this They gestured at the holographic display. "This is beyond anything we've ever seen." "Which is exactly why we called this gathering," Sarah Chen interjected, manipulating the holographic display to show new data. "Each of your species has fought the swarm in your own way. Each of you has discovered something about their nature. Together, we can combine that knowledge with our quantum echo technology to create something new." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices and translated signals. The idea of combining technologies of different species working together against the swarm was unprecedented. Many of these civilizations had been isolated for millennia, focused solely on their own survival. An energy being pulsed with skepticism, its thoughts translated into words. "Our species have evolved along completely different paths. Our technologies are incompatible. Our very understanding of reality differs." Belina Santos stepped forward, her experience hunting the swarm giving weight to her words. "That's not a weakness. It's our greatest strength. The swarm operates on principles so advanced that they've become predictable. But when we combine our primitive technologies in ways they can't predict, that's when we hurt them the most." She brought up footage from recent battles, showing how human quantum echo weapons have been enhanced by crystalline focusing arrays, powered by energy being technologies, and guided by the mathematical models of gas giant dwelling species. Together, we're creating something they can't adapt to because they can't understand it. The chamber grew quiet as the implications sank in. The ascended representative, a being of pure quantum probability, shifted its form in what Sarah had learned to recognize as approval. They had chosen humanity not just for their ability to fight, but for their ability to unite others. "We've established quantum shipyards in the Kuiper Belt," Maya continued, bringing up new schematics. "Every species here has something to contribute to the defense of reality itself. We don't have much time. The swarm will reach their gathering point in less than 2 months, but together we can build something they've never faced before." The next several weeks saw the greatest collaboration of species in known history. The quantum shipyards became a melting pot of technologies and ideas. Crystalline beings worked alongside energy forms to create hybrid weapons. Gas giant intellects provided computational models that helped predict swarm movements across dimensional boundaries. And through it all, human innovation tied everything together. Sarah spent countless hours in her lab, working with alien scientists to integrate their technologies. "It's beautiful," she told Maya during one of their brief breaks. "Each species sees reality slightly differently, and each perspective gives us a new way to fight the swarm. We're not just building weapons, we're creating a whole new understanding of physics." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A species of silicon-based beings who had hidden in asteroid belts for millennia observed that the swarm's quantum signatures showed patterns similar to crystalline growth. "They're not just consuming reality," their ambassador explained through the translator. "They're trying to crystallize it, to force it into a rigid, unchanging form." This revelation changed everything. The combined fleet they were building wasn't just fighting for survival. It was fighting for the right of reality to remain dynamic, to evolve, to live. Each species contributed their understanding of change and growth to the weapons they were creating. 1 month before the predicted swarm convergence, the first ships of the Allied fleet emerged from the quantum shipyards. They were unlike anything ever seen before. Vessels that incorporated the technologies and philosophies of 18 different species. Human quantum echo cores powered by energy being reactors, crystalline focusing arrays guided by gas giant mathematics, and weapons that could strike across multiple interpretations of reality simultaneously. Maya stood on the observation deck with representatives from all 17 allied species, watching as more ships joined the fleet. "They thought they could hunt us," she said quietly. "They thought they could consume our reality and replace it with their static, crystalline version. Instead, they united us. They gave us a reason to overcome our differences and work together." The ascended representative pulsed with what might have been pride. Their gamble on humanity had paid off in ways even they hadn't predicted. They had sought champions against the swarm, but had instead found architects of unity. Alina prepared to take command of the lead ship, named Unity, in all 18 languages of the Alliance. As she walked through its corridors, she marveled at how the different technologies had been merged into something new. Crystalline control panels that responded to thought, energy conduits that crossed dimensional boundaries, and quantum sensors that could perceive reality through multiple philosophical frameworks simultaneously. The swarm is changing course. Sarah's voice came through the neural link. They've detected our fleet. They're advancing faster than predicted. Mina's response was calm and determined. Good. Let them come. They wanted to hunt. Let's show them what happens when the hunted unite. All ships, prepare for dimensional jump. We're taking this fight to them. The Allied fleet, 18 species strong, moved into formation. They carried with them not just weapons, but a revolutionary idea, that the diversity of life and thought was reality's greatest strength. The swarm sought to impose uniformity on existence itself. The Alliance would show them why that was impossible. As the fleet prepared for its first unified battle, Alina sent a final message to her crew, a mixture of humans and aliens working in perfect harmony. They thought they were the apex predators of reality. Time to show them that evolution isn't about becoming perfect, it's about becoming adaptable. The order to jump came, and reality itself seemed to hold its breath as the greatest fleet ever assembled moved to confront its greatest threat. The hunt was truly about to begin. Echo of hope. Reality fractured and reformed as the Allied fleet emerged from their dimensional jump. Before them stretched a sight that defied comprehension. The assembled might of the entropy swarm, thousands of reality-consuming entities swirling in patterns that hurt the mind to observe. They had gathered in a sector of space that already showed signs of their influence, where the normal laws of physics were beginning to crystallize into rigid, unchanging patterns. All ships, battle formations, Alina commanded from Unity's bridge. The fleet moved with practiced precision, each vessel's unique combination of technologies humming with power. The bridge crew, a mixture of humans, crystalline beings, and energy forms, worked in perfect synchronization. They're attempting to initiate a mass conversion. Sarah's voice came through the neural link from her position in Unity's science lab. This isn't just an attack. It's an attempt to force their version of reality onto our entire sector of space. The swarm moved first, launching an attack that rippled across multiple dimensions. Reality itself buckled under the assault, but the Allied ships held firm. Their hybrid shields, combining 18 different concepts of dimensional stability, deflected energies that should have torn them apart. Launch the first wave, Maya ordered from her command position. Show them what unity looks like. The Allied fleet responded with a devastating barrage. Quantum echo beams, focused through crystalline arrays and powered by energy beam reactors, struck the swarm entities. Gas giant mathematical models predicted their evasive patterns, while silicon-based targeting systems found weaknesses in their dimensional structure. But the swarm was far from defeated. They responded with attacks that threatened to unravel the fabric of space-time itself. Several Allied ships were caught in reality warping fields, their crews fighting to maintain coherence as multiple versions of existence try to assert themselves simultaneously. They're trying to separate us, Alina realized, watching the battle patterns. They think if they can force each species to fight alone, we'll be vulnerable. She opened a channel to all ships. Stay together. Our strength isn't in our individual technologies. It's in how they work together. The battle raged across dimensions, each side adapting and counter-adapting to new tactics. The swarm's attempts to impose rigid order on reality met the Alliance's celebration of chaos and diversity. Every time the cosmic horrors thought they had adapted to one form of attack, the Allied ships would combine their technologies in new and unpredictable ways. In Unity's science lab, Sarah made a crucial discovery. The crystalline patterns she broadcast to the fleet. They're not just trying to freeze reality. They're trying to make it predictable. They want to eliminate quantum uncertainty itself. The ascended representative, who had insisted on joining the battle, pulsed with sudden understanding. Through the translator, its message rang clear. They fear change. They fear the uncertainty that allows life to evolve. Their perfect crystal universe is an attempt to eliminate the very thing that makes existence possible. Elena's mind raced with the implications. Then let's give them more uncertainty than they can handle. All ships, initiate protocol chaos. The Allied fleet split into smaller groups, each one combining technologies in previously untested ways. Human quantum echo weapons were modified on the fly, their effects amplified by crystalline focusing arrays that had been purposefully grown with slight imperfections. Energy being power sources pulsed with deliberately irregular patterns. The swarm reacted with increasing desperation. Their attempts to predict and counter the Alliance's attacks became more frantic as they faced something they had never encountered before: true, willful unpredictability. Their quantum signatures are destabilizing, Sarah reported, excitement clear in her voice. They can't maintain their rigid patterns in the face of so much controlled chaos. The battle reached its crescendo as the Allied fleet executed their final gambit. Every ship activated their quantum resonators simultaneously, each one tuned to a slightly different frequency. The combined effect created a cascade of quantum possibilities, a celebration of uncertainty and change that rippled through reality itself. The swarm entities began to break apart, their attempts to impose order overwhelmed by the pure chaotic potential of 18 species working in harmony. Their crystalline patterns shattered, unable to maintain coherence in the face of so much vibrant, living uncertainty. As the last swarm entities dissolved into harmless energy patterns, Sarah made one final observation. They never understood. They thought perfection meant eliminating chaos, but chaos is what allows reality to grow, to evolve. The Allied fleet regrouped, their ships bearing the scars of battle across multiple dimensions. But they had won. More than that, they had proven something that would change the galaxy forever. That diversity wasn't a weakness to be overcome, but a strength to be celebrated. In the aftermath, as the Allied species gathered to celebrate their victory, Maya addressed them all. The swarm sought to impose their version of perfection on reality. They failed because they never understood that perfection isn't about eliminating chaos. It's about learning to dance with it. Elena stood on Unity's observation deck, watching as reality slowly healed itself. The rigid patterns left by the swarm were already beginning to dissolve, replaced by the natural quantum uncertainty that allowed for growth and change. Besides her, representatives of all 18 species gathered to witness the rebirth of their sector of space. What now? The crystalline ambassador asked. The swarm is defeated, but our alliance is just beginning, Elena finished. We've learned too much from each other to go back to isolation. Besides, she smiled, there's a whole universe out there waiting to be explored. And this time, we'll explore it together. The Ascended being pulsed with final approval. They had chosen humanity to fight the swarm, but humanity had done something far more impressive. They had united the galaxy. Not through force or dominance, but through their unique ability to see possibility where others saw impossibility. Sarah's voice came through the neural link one last time. The quantum echoes are stabilizing. Reality is returning to its natural state. Beautiful, unpredictable, and alive with possibility. As the Allied fleet set course for Earth, they left behind more than just a defeated enemy. They left a legacy. A proof that the greatest strength of any species wasn't in their technology or their power, but in their ability to work together, to combine their unique perspectives into something greater than the sum of its parts. The hunt was over. But the real adventure, the exploration of what 18 united species could accomplish together, was just beginning. And somewhere in the quantum echoes of reality itself, the essence of what made existence worth fighting for continued to resonate. The beautiful, chaotic dance of infinite possibility.